Hello. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Lynda?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing really good. I'm okay now. So of course now you can hear the helicopter outside my house.
They found you. They
We
found
were
you.
just we were just talking about this. Is that you try to go live and it's too hot to like shut your windows because it's middle of freaking summer here, or start of summer. So, but anyway, welcome to
Yeah.
the show, everybody. How you doing? How's everything going?
Everything's going okay, except you're right. I mean, now that I'm doing the show with you, somebody's mowing their lawn, so I had to close the window. But aside from that, it's been a busy week. I got my hair back to its normal color instead of all that blonde that was in it. So now every time I look in the mirror, I get scared. Who is this person? How are you doing? You don't sound so well.
My son got sick this week. I think it was probably from the hockey game that we went to,
No,
and we were around a large crowd or whatever,
true.
people everywhere, which is fine. But yeah, he got sick this week, and I think it was funny this afternoon. Like I was feeling okay this morning, and then this afternoon, all of a sudden, you know how you get the chills and the fever, and you're like, here we go. And I was like, I could cancel the show, but I was like, you know what? Let's just push through.
Aw,
And we'll see how that goes. But I have a very serious question for you, Lynda.
yes.
What's your favorite scary movie, Lynda?
My favorite scary movie? Oh my gosh. Well, I have
Which is
5
what
of
we're
them.
talking about today. What's your favorite? What's your favorite scary
I have 5 of them.
Yeah, hey.
I do. I do. How about
I
you?
do too. I do too. I have a bunch. I had a really hard time narrowing it down. So I actually made a list of some of the movies, that probably could have made this list.
Okay.
Um, but the only reason that they really didn't was simply because of the fact that they're not movies that I would probably watch over and over again,
Right.
or that this helicopters outside just annoying. I don't know if you guys can hear this or if it's too loud, or can you hear
No,
the helicopter? Okay.
I can't hear it. Nope.
So the only reason, yeah, that they didn't make this list is because they're not movies that I would probably watch, several times
Right. Right.
or anything along that line. They're more along the lines of this was a lot of fun, but that's it. Or maybe some of them I've been too scared to watch.
Yeah, I know that one.
They're on my list, but
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think what I'll do is I will read a little bit of this list. I think we'll add, we'll read more of it later. I won't read the whole one right now, but one of the first ones on here was Human Centipede. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
No.
that one I have been debating about watching it. It's about a mad scientist basically that decides that he's going to hook all of these people up together. These 2 girls, they show up at his house. They have a flat tire and they're stuck out in the boonies, and they go to this house. Turns out he's a mad scientist and he's making a human caterpillar. So basically, you have the face, and then the second person, guess where they are?
Right.
So when one person eats, it goes through the mouth and through the so you're like it's horrible.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
just I do not want to. I don't know. I've debated am I going to watch this? Am I not going to watch this? I don't think I'm going to watch it. I think I got the premise of it. Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is another one. Pretty scary again. Candyman. You know what? I saw the original a long time ago. I have not wanted to. I haven't really cared to see the newer version of it. I'm pretty good with where we are. Sometimes these older movies, they're good the way they are. Like let's just leave them. In that extent. Hereditary. I did see this one. I was not impressed. I didn't find it super scary. I actually found it boring and kind of ridiculous. Some people find it super scary, and I'm like, where? How? I don't understand. The Tall Man.
Oh, the tall man.
The tall man, and also It Follows. You hear this? You hear that?
I don't. Are they really low?
It's literally like this helicopter is pretty much like in my front yard here. It's
Oh,
crazy.
jeez.
They must be searching for somebody.
Or it's the Men in Black.
Maybe it's the men. Maybe they know that we're doing these movies.
Oh, there you go.
American Werewolf in London. Love, love,
Oh,
love that movie. One
I
of my
love that movie.
favorite movies.
Yes.
But yeah, I did, you know what? I don't find it scary. I find it fascinating. And that was probably why I didn't really put it on. It's not that the rest of them really are particularly scary, but
Right.
Gabriel Malignant. Now that is a scary movie. Don't want to see it. Again, saw it before, could only watch it like this. I was good. We're good with that.
Okay.
Pinhead, another one.
Right.
Get Out, very brilliantly created, but it's not a movie that I'm going to watch several times over and over and over again. But
Okay.
brilliant movie. It was well directed, well acted, and I thought it had a very significant moral of this. Like it was just an amazing movie altogether, right?
Okay.
Cloverfield. Now, Cloverfield again, I saw this a long time ago. Not a movie that I would want to watch over and over again. Texas Chainsaw Massacre we've got. Again, brilliant movie, but scares the crap out of me. Not one that I can sit through many, many times. Saw the first one. I thought that was brilliantly created. Brilliantly created.
Wow.
However, the rest of the Saws that came afterwards had no desire to watch them whatsoever.
Right.
Did you ever see Saw?
You know what? I don't like really gory, horrible movies like that. Like I would never watch that. I would never watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've heard about it. I've read the synopses, but again, yeah, I don't know. I don't like the gore. It's like when people talk about Halloween, right? And they talk about the time of the year. I mean, not the movie specifically, but they talk about all of these gory kinds of movies and kind of lump them
Right.
in, right? With
Yeah.
some of the scary, sort of more psychological thriller kind of movies. And to me, Halloween isn't about the gore as much as it's about the scare. So,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of
I
people
agree.
yeah, but a lot of people find that the gory movies are scary. So they kind of go, well, they fit into Halloween. But in my book,
Yeah.
Halloween is not about that, but that's okay. I mean, whatever floats your boat, right?
That's the one thing about Saw, the first one. Now I've only skimmed the other Saws.
Right.
So I could be talking out of my ass here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't really sat and actually watched them. But
Okay.
the reason for that is because of the gore. In the other ones that I did tend to watch, right? But the first one was a more psychological thriller than anything. And
Good.
so that one, I think was just brilliantly created. And it has
Right.
Carrie Ells. I can't pronounce his name,
Right.
but from The Princess Bride. And I love the way that it was created. Alien, Blair Witch.
Yeah.
And of course we've got our Halloween, we've got our Friday the 13th, we've got Carrie, we've got Christine. Another brilliant one was I Spit on Your Grave. I never saw the original one. I did see like the remake, from the later versions. I thought that was brilliantly created as well. And yeah, so I mean that those were ones that almost made the list. Let's just say that they almost made the list.
Yeah. There's a lot to choose from.
Oh, there's so many, right? And the thing is that there's even some really great ones that are more local that have been created, all kinds of like Skinamarink or something like that.
Okay.
Skinamarink, and that's actually was actually made here in Edmonton.
Wow.
And it's won many, many awards already. And I am too scared to watch it though, so I have not watched it. It's it's one of those ones that I know is going to keep me up all night long. And so, and one of this brilliant actress here from Edmonton, and she's so nice and she's so sweet. Jamie Hill, she's in it. She plays the mom in the movie, and I just adore her. She's such a nice lady. But she's in it, and I would love to watch it. But I know I'm going to be a big chicken head, and so I wouldn't be able to get through it.
I get you. I get
you. But because we're talking about, so let's start with the first one. Let's start with the first one. Tell me, Lynda, which is your? Let's start with your number one right now.
Oh, with my number one. Well, The Omen.
Okay.
I love The Omen.
Let me just give it 1 second here. So
I love it.
I do have these screened up, and I would like to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I hope we get some comments tonight because some of these movies are fun.
They are fun. So just give me 1 second here. Oops, that's not what we're doing. Oh, here we go.
All right.
Share screen. Hang on. I gotta figure it out because we've got a few of them up here. So hang on a minute. Here we go.
Technical.
Okay. Oopsie. What are we doing here? What is this? Oh, there we go. Okay.
There you go.
In this wealth, position, and power, the perfect marriage of Ambassador Robert Thorne and his wife Cathryn was fulfilled by the birth of their son, Damien.
So we won't watch the whole thing. I'll just put on.
When the child was 5 years old, something terrible happened. Then it happened again. Was it murder?
No.
Coincidence? Or was it an omen?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
20th century.
I love that movie. Hang on.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. It's such a classic. I mean, anybody who's anybody knows at least about The Omen. But I have a treasured copy and watch it almost every, spooky season because it's such a classic. I mean, the kid that turns out to be the Antichrist. I mean, what a great premise, right? But it's so great because it's got all kinds of kind of campy and yet scary scenes. And I saw this when I was a kid. So, of course, that probably made it even scarier, right? But I loved it. I loved it because of the whole, the devil thing. I just thought it was a great movie. It's a classic. And I think everybody should watch it at least once or 10 times.
They have, I can't remember if it's on Netflix or Prime. But they have a new Omen, The Omen. Yes. It's not a new, it's like a TV show or something. I think it's a movie. Maybe it's a movie. And I think it's a prequel to The Omen is what it is, from what I understand. Yeah. I started watching it, and then I just had other things to do at that time. So I keep meaning to go back to it to watch it. I wasn't that it was wasn't scared of it or anything like that. It was fine. The Omen is one of those movies that I actually do enjoy watching, even though it's, it definitely has the scare to it. And it's funny how these old movies can definitely make you jump. Like, you would think that you would need all of these 3D effects and yada yada, but
you don't. You don't.
No, you know what? And I'll tell you. So we're gonna go to the second one here, and sometimes it is actually just the assumption of something that it can be more scary than the actual thing itself. And we're gonna just a second here. I'm gonna go into that, and we're gonna show you that one here.
Okay.
And just there's a little bit of a backstory which I would love to get into afterwards, but I want to show this first. So just give me 1 minute. course, I have to find it.
That's the fun part.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh,
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
There we go.
oh boy.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Most famous line, right? Like
Yep.
you're gonna need that big. You're gonna need a bigger boat. But here's the thing with that. So I'll tell you something. So this is just a little bit of a backstory. When I was growing up, my mom loved the old Alfred Hitchcock films. And so every Sunday they used to, or every once a month, they used to change them over in our museum. Okay. And basically they would just kind of replay or, play some of these old Alfred Hitchcocks. And every month there was a new Alfred Hitchcock.
Cool.
And so my mom would bring me and my sister. And I remember being in the stroller and just a little one. And we would go and watch these movies.
Cool. That's cool.
So I was, fairly much raised on Alfred Hitchcock. Once a month there was a brand new scare for me. Here's the thing is that we also saw we didn't see it in the theater, but we saw it at home. It was like The Exorcist and, different movies like that. So when Jaws came out, my mom was like, you know what? Like I begged her to see it. I was like, I really want to see it. Because I'm stupid. I gotta go see it. So we went, Kate, I still to this day cannot go in the ocean. I refuse to go in the ocean. I can't even hardly go in a pool. I'm not lying. That movie messed me up so badly. But I'll tell you something. I have seen probably just about every shark movie since this came out. I try to get over my fear. It doesn't work. But I have seen Jaws, I don't even know how many times. So it definitely, for me, made the top, my top 5. Because it is still one of my favorite horror movies. I will watch it over and over. If there's nothing on TV, I'll throw on Jaws. It is one of my favorite movies. And when we talk about sometimes the assumption is worse than the actuality, there's only a couple of times where Bruce the shark actually appears in the movie. Most of the time it is actually just his fin. Or it is the assumption, you hear the doo-doo, 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 and that the shark is coming, he's on his way. And so it's the psychological fear of the shark rather than the actual, seeing the shark itself. And, I've watched so many documentaries on this show and, Bruce kept breaking down and they had so much trouble with Bruce the shark that Spielberg was brilliant. And he said, you know what, we'll just do this. Like we'll have the barrels, like we won't see the shark, but we'll have the barrels, or we'll see, him coming up to, bite the boy on the blow up thing, and things like this. And so, that was actually more psychologically scary than the shark itself.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
Enough. Yeah. Until he started eating Quint on the boat, that I pretty much lost my mind. I remember I ran out of the theater at that point. That was pretty much the end of it for me.
Oh no.
First I was just little. I was like,
my God.
I'm running
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Well,
yeah. So
do you remember
that was that.
What year did that movie come out? I can't even remember.
I think 77 or something like that. Yeah.
Can't remember, but I remember reading the book because everybody was going crazy about this book. And so of course I was a kid and I brought the book to the cottage So of course I read the book all in one sitting at the cottage because I couldn't stop reading. I couldn't put
Oh
it
yeah.
down. And then of course we were up there for 2 weeks on summer holidays, and there's no bloody way I was going swimming in the lake. Like there's no way.
No. I've been to Hawaii several times, and I tell you, I still would not go into the water. It's got the most beautiful,
Yeah.
oceans. There's not a chance you're getting me past my ankles. That's it.
I'm with you, sister. I'm with you, sister. Yeah, Jaws, I think, did it for everybody. Honestly, I'm sure. I'm positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Positive.
So let's go to our third one, which would be for you. Which one are we going for?
Oh, The Others.
Okay.
That was a great movie. I loved that movie. Some people hate it, but I thought it was really fun. That's with Nicole Kidman.
I do have that one here.
Awesome.
Hang on a second. Here we go.
Sometimes the world of the dead gets mixed up with the world of the living.
As you can see, the housework has been rather neglected since the servants disappeared almost a week ago.
Do you mean they just vanished?
Into thin air.
How do you do, children? I'm your new nanny.
Are you going to leave us too?
Why should I leave you?
The others said they wouldn't. They did, and then it happened. Why have you opened the curtains? It was Victor.
You told your brother that there was someone else in the room.
There was.
That'll do, Anne.
I've seen them too. Sooner or later, she'll see them. Then everything will be different.
So I can't play too much of it just because we don't want to get
No.
whatever. But I had a hard time with this movie because I didn't understand it at first. Like I had a really hard, like I think I was, sometimes when you go to a movie and you're just not in the place for maybe watching a movie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I was confused too, though. I was for a while. And then I wasn't confused. And then I kind of realized, oh, they're the ghosts. I get it. And the new people that have moved into the house are the ghosts to them. And I thought, okay. And it's true. The dead and the living can get mixed up in this movie. And it's just a lot of fun. But
It is a lot of fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoy that movie, actually, to be honest. It's one of those that I would watch again.
Yeah.
But I'd have to be in the place of at least, having that on. It's kind of, to me, it reminds me a little bit of Sixth Sense, where at the ending you're going,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Let's
Like,
watch
what-
that again. Yeah, right? We
like,
did
what
that.
did I just watch? Like, what just happened, right? And it reminds me of, it has that sort of, premise behind it, and you're like, uh-oh, what
Yeah.
just happened?
Yeah. It kind of makes you want to go back and almost dissect the movie, right? And say, okay, so if this is what's really happening, then okay, I get that. Now I get that because I didn't really get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was great. I thought I liked the ethereal quality. I liked the atmospheric quality of the movie because it was kind of like dingy and it was dark, and you could almost smell that dampness in the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the curtains, she's always drawing the curtains because the kids have this photosynthesis kind of whatever the hell it's called, and they can't be exposed to light. And that was when I went, okay, so they can't be exposed to light. So that's a little odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just an odd movie. But when you realize what the whole premise is, you kind of want to go back and dissect it and go, okay, so that's why this happens. So
Exactly. Yeah. You want to rewatch it and dissect it and just a
it's
whole
creepy.
another look at it. So another favorite of mine. Now this one, I actually am not you know what? I didn't find the original as scary, which is surprising.
Okay.
As the remake. I actually found the remake to be scarier. But I love this. You know what? I think it's because I like the actor that played this particular character. So we will get it right here.
Oh, I think I know which one this is.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
There you go. She's all ready, Captain.
Thanks, Billy.
Right?
Oh.
Like any time I've ever been in before.
I think that
Oh.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
You'll float too.
I love it.
You'll float too. You'll float too.
Yeah, that's a creepy movie.
Oh, you know, I really like the remake better than the original. I think the clown is creepier. Obviously, Bill Skarsgård, you know, brilliant actor. You know, I've watched him in a few things that I really enjoy, and but yeah, you know, but it's the clown, right? It's the clown. It's always the clowns, and you know, it just has that creep factor. It's got a clown. It doesn't matter if the clown is doing a tap dance. It's going to be freaking creepy. Like it just doesn't. It's just.
It's the clown.
It's the clown. It literally is always the clown, and it is scarier than hell. I still have trouble getting through it. It is one of those movies that I have watched a couple of times, but you have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it. You
Yeah,
do. It's not one of those, you know, that you can just I'm weird. I like to put movies on in the background if I'm doing other things. So sometimes I'll throw on a horror movie or I'll throw on whatever, something that I've seen before so I don't have to pay attention to it. It's just something that I've got running in the background.
Yes.
You know, filler for my head because I'm not one that can really listen to music while I'm doing it. It has to be more talking or you know, that kind of thing. It's just
Right.
yeah. But yeah, so that is it.
Well,
I love it. But
that's a great movie. That's a great. Honestly, that's a great movie.
It really is. It's so good. And I love the way that they did it. And to be honest, it's one of those movies with the CGI that they did enhance this that made the movie even better than the original. You know what I mean? It just added to this movie in general. So your turn. Which one are we going for next?
Well, I mean, since we're talking Stephen King and based on books, let's go for The Shining, which is one of my very favorites. Love that movie. Love it, love it, love it. I would love to get out there too to investigate. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, I would love to go there just so much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't suppose they told you anything in Denver about the tragedy we had up here during the winter of 1970? I hired a man named Charles Grady as the winter caretaker. So from what I've been told, I mean, he seemed like a completely normal individual. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and killed his family with an axe.
Well, you can rest assured, Mr. Ullman, that's not going to happen with me.
Oh, he's so young, eh?
Oh my God, yes.
Do you really want to go and live in that hotel for the winter?
Sure I do. It'll be lots of fun.
The only thing that can get a bit trying up here during the winter is the tremendous sense of isolation.
Is there something bad here?
I fear you will.
Love that movie. Just love it. Absolutely. I do. It's such a good movie.
I
So
love that
brilliant.
movie. It's just
What's
so
that?
weird. It's so weird that I like it because, again, it's that psychological factor that is just so crazy and creepy. And you can imagine yourself being in such an isolated location, right? With nothing. I mean, you have everything at your disposal, but it's so isolated. You can hear your heartbeat. That would
Red
be the
rum, red
scene.
rum,
Oh my
red rum.
God. Yeah, Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
Yeah.
The finger was what? Tony. That was the finger.
Yeah.
Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance. Oh man, that's creepy. So yeah. And that was 1980, that movie. And I mean, it was so creepy. I really liked the whole, that the hotel had all these dark secrets. And they kept getting illuminated as he's losing his mind, as he's going further and further and further into madness. And she was great. Shelley Duvall was wonderful. I mean, just
wasn't she amazing? I mean, it was one of those movies where they all, even the kid was brilliantly acted, all of it.
Oh yeah. Great movie. One of my favorites.
Have you seen the second part where when Danny is older? I cannot remember the name of it right now.
I think so. I can't remember either.
Yeah. But he's like a psychic, and it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not The Shining, but I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Right now.
It'll come to us after we finish.
What's that?
It'll come to us after the show.
Oh, for sure. Of course. It always does. It always does that way. Now, this next movie, this one actually again, it was another one of those where the original is better than the remake. Okay. I don't know why they even bothered to remake it, because the original was just brilliant. Okay. And this movie was one of those movies that really stayed with me for a while afterwards. I was scared to go to sleep. I'm not lying. I was really, really, really scared at times to go to sleep. It hit me. And I remember watching this very clearly. And I remember being very scared.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
I just see cuts happening.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
Tina!
The coroner got to say.
He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy, there's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No one will survive.
Oh God.
So this movie, I don't know what it was, but something about this movie scared the crap right out of me. Yep. And it did stay with me for a long time. And actually, I really had a really hard time watching the second and third and fourth and 10th and whatever. But I did see that they had remade it. I believe it was 2010 when they remade it. And I thought, oh, what a shame, because this was such a brilliant movie.
It was a brilliant movie. It was. Absolutely.
And it was definitely one of those that, I could watch over, but it was, again, one of those where you're like,
yep.
No matter what, no matter how many times I've watched it, you're still like this, and of course you got the young Johnny Depp in there, and
yes,
I'm good with that.
Me too. Me too. I'll watch it over just for that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, that's worth watching it for. Next one for you, Lynda. God. Which one did you go to as number 4 for you?
This one I loved, and I know that they sometimes call it a horror comedy, but it had its really frightening moments. Fright Night, the original, and that was 1985. I like this better than all the remakes.
I've never seen this movie. Isn't that funny? I have not seen
Oh,
it. So
great
I haven't
movie.
even seen the
What
trailer.
would you
I'm
do
looking
if you accidentally discovered the house next door was occupied by something not human? Something horrifying. Something unspeakably evil. No one believes you.
Mom, I didn't have a nightmare.
Not your mom.
They did kill a girl over there.
Not your girlfriend.
Charlie, is this some sort of a trick to get me back?
Not even the police.
Look, I know it's crazy. I know that, but look, Lieutenant!
It knows that you know. You'll do anything to protect yourself. But it will do anything to protect its secret.
I did see this before. I lied. I have seen this movie. I just didn't remember the name of it.
Well, I figured you would because it's a vampire movie, and I know you like vampires.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've seen this movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh my gosh. Roddy McDowell is in this movie, and he's so brilliant in this movie. He's a washed up sort of television, vampire killer and stuff like that. And he gets himself into some precarious positions, and it's just the best movie. But I think, I think how you mentioned the young Johnny Depp in the other one. Of course, you've got Chris Sarandon in this one, who played the vampire. And I mean, talk about dishy. Hello. You may as well just watch the movie for him. But but it's cool because it has that premise of, nobody believes this kid, but he knows what he's seen because his because of course his neighbor truly is a vampire. And it has that, oh my God, I'm watching what my neighbor's doing, but nobody believes me element. And it kind of harkens back to that great movie, that comedy, I think it's called The Burbs, where where you've got the Klopeks or something next door, and they're convinced that they're vampires or some crazy thing. So, but I thought it was great. It had some truly scary bits in this movie, and I think it's worth a watch anyway.
Oh, it really is. I don't know why I didn't remember the name of it, but I remember watching the movie. I've only seen it the once, and I think that I saw it actually in a drive-in, to be honest. So, Dark Star says Roddy McDowell and the kid who plays Evil Ed steal the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I agree. Okay, next one.
What's that?
Well, I'm debating which one I'm gonna. Next three are some of my favorite. I actually added an extra one to this.
Oh, cool.
So, I'm just going to. I think because of the fact that this one is, it's kind of, the background of it. We've got some sadness going on with that,
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that.
1980.
And the one next to that.
New one. I love the original. And
A young couple live in it.
Not a room.
Give Ken a kiss.
You are so obnoxious.
With their 3 children.
Poor Ken, honey, chewy triton.
And something more.
They're here. Sweetie, remember last night?
So the Poltergeist, I mean, this was such a standard classic crazy, scary horror movie for me.
Yes.
I remember watching that steak go across the counter. I don't think I ate meat for the longest time. But the background of it, like, or not the background, that, like, basically, we have Dominic Dunn and Heather O'Rourke, who tragically, unfortunately, died. And I think it's just quite honestly sad, about the whole thing. And it was really too bad that they remade the movie, because this was a movie that did not need to be remade.
Agreed. I totally agree. I actually went to see the movie when it came out. It was myself and my friend Liz and my friend Suzanne. And I was sitting on one side of one of the friends, and I can't remember which one it was, but every time something scary happened, her arms would go out and smack us. But it was, I mean, just because of that, I watched the movie like this. But I loved that movie. You're right. It didn't need a remake. It was perfect the way it was. Honestly, perfect the way it was. Loved it.
I like what Dark Star says. The trailer screams Spielberg, but it was Toby Hooper who directed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was one of those movies that, again, I didn't even know that there was a remake. And once I did watch a little bit of the trailers as I was trying to look for clips today, and I saw it and I was like, this looks stupid. Why would I even watch this? It did not even look like the original Poltergeist. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of sad. Like, why not just give that movie a whole different name?
Yeah. Yeah.
It did not need to be remade, and it's tragic that it was. And I think to some degree, it takes away from Dominic Dunn and Heather O'Rourke, who did play brilliantly in these movies.
Yes.
And why take away that legacy to some degree from them, if that makes sense? Like, these were some of their last movies. They didn't need to, again, it just didn't need to be remade.
No, Hollywood does that sometimes, though. When they don't know what else to do, they remake a movie.
Yeah.
It was such a great movie.
Or even just make it, but give it a different name. Like, you didn't, it would have been fine that way.
It would have been. That's a classic. That's a real classic.
It really is. I don't know. I just love that show. I'm going to just do one of the other ones here.
Yeah, for sure.
This one here, we all know, we all probably love. We're all terrified of this movie. And when people say horror movies, this is probably the one that comes first to people's minds.
Oh.
I'll be honest with you. I did not find it extremely scary for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I was terrified already with Jaws. That terror, like whatever it was.
Oh, this one.
Yes. What do we have here?
Hey, where'd this come from? I found it. Well, let's both play.
Howdy.
You really don't want me to play?
Captain Howdy said no.
Who's Captain Howdy?
You're gonna die up there.
I need reassignment. You're the best we've got. I think I've lost my faith.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Is it Captain Howdy? You ever heard of exorcism?
How do you go about getting an exorcism?
I beg your pardon? I'm Damien Jones. I'd like to help you. Where's Reagan?
In here with us.
In here with us. Such a good show. Again, another one that they remade. Absolutely did not need to be done. Or they could have at least given it another name or whatever it was. It did not need to be played. This is such a classic. I mean, it was just so brilliant. The whole entire, and again, it did scare me. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't scary, but I wasn't like that kind of scared. It wasn't like the jump scare. It was more, I don't know. it didn't affect me quite the same. Like I was able to walk away from it. But I mean, the thing is that in theaters, they, from what I've read, is that people were leaving the theater throwing up, and people were like losing their minds, from when it was in the, or the original was placed in the theater. So how did you see The Exorcist? Was it at home, in the theater? Like,
it was at home. I was in Florida actually with my parents. I didn't sleep for I don't know how long. It really affected me. I guess growing up Roman Catholic too, it really affected me. And I don't know. I just psychologically, I had a really hard time with this movie. And even now, when I think about it, I think about how brilliant it was, though, because I think the scene that affected me the most was when she was crawling back. Remember
down
that
the stairs?
scene? That
Yeah.
was so good.
But they had deleted that scene originally. I don't know if it was in the original movie or not, but I know that the, when they put it out on VHS or however they distribute, it had been taken out and then just recently put back in.
Oh, God. Horrifying, absolutely horrifying. And I had seen the movie, as I said, it was on TV when I was in Florida. And that was kind of a weird thing too, because nobody would put that movie on television. And then of course it was on TV. We watched it. My parents had said, I don't think you should watch it. And of course I said, of course I want to watch it.
Of course I can.
I can handle it. I can handle it. Sure.
We must have been in parallel worlds at that point, because that was pretty much the exact same thing. Like it was on TV and my mom was like, oh, I don't know if you should watch it. And I'm like, I guess
I can watch it. I can handle it. Yeah, sure. But then I remember rewatching it and thinking, I see why I was terrified as a kid. And watching that scene with the walking backwards down the stairs, that really freaked me out. I got this awful, horrible feeling because, when you read about exorcisms and, quote unquote, real exorcisms, when a person is taken over by, ostensibly a demon, they can do anything. The demon doesn't care about what you can't do physically or not. It just makes you do stuff. So that I think it was just too psychological for me. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. And of course, as we know, that it was based upon a true story.
Yeah.
And I believe that the house is still, they did actually, from what I understand, the New York Fire Department actually burned it down. It was a controlled burn.
Really?
Yeah. Now I could be wrong on this, but from what I've understood, it was that they actually destroyed the house because there were so many looky-loos and all of that. So I could be wrong. That was just one of those things that you hear. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on it, but apparently the boy from The Exorcist was at least alive and well to about 10 years ago. I don't know if he still is or not, but yeah, interesting.
Oh my God.
They've never published the name of him, obviously, but
yeah.
Interesting. So this next one, I love. This is yours. Funny enough, you know what's funny? This movie, I sat down yesterday and I was searching through Netflix or whatever, trying to find something to watch. And I was in one of those places where I was like, oh, I could watch a horror movie. And I came up across The Mist. And I thought, I'm going to watch this. And this is what gave me the idea for today, actually. And so I love the fact that this is one of your favorites because, it definitely was. That was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Wow.
Whoa. Mom, Dad, you gotta come see. The birdhouse is so bad. You just gotta come on. Whoa.
Having spoken, the doomsayer departs.
Why don't you get Billy dressed? I'll take him into town with him. Hit the store before it gets all bought out.
How'd you folks hold up in the storm?
Big insurance day.
Sorry to hear that.
death.
So
Time to take sides. Read the good book. It calls for blood.
Guys, I hear something. Are those bugs?
Not like any I've ever seen. The entire front of this store is plate glass.
So, it's really funny actually, because as I was watching it yesterday, I realized that it was, Frank Darabont who directed, produced, all of that. But
Yeah.
there was all kinds of Walking Dead actors in there. There was at least 3 of them. Melissa McBride, Lori, I can't remember her name, and another guy, but I can't remember. I remember their names on the show, but not, in real life. And I thought, oh my gosh, how did I not see this movie? How did I never see this movie? I've heard about it. How have I never watched it? It was so interesting.
Yeah.
I love what he said. Love this movie. Took my girlfriend to this. She had a meltdown over the spiders and then went into hysterics over the ending.
Right? I did too. I had hysterics over the ending too. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I mean, I'm sure most people that are going to watch the movie, or I don't know, watch this are going to watch the movie. So I don't know if I should give it away, but it's like, what? He didn't have to do that? What do you mean?
Yeah, right? Like, I know,
what would you do in that situation, right?
I would not have done what he did.
No, I wouldn't have done what he did either, but a lot of people would have.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have. I would not have done that. I think, I'm one of those fight to the right to the end type of people.
Yeah.
And I would want my kids to do the same thing. So and it wouldn't have been my decision, I guess, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I don't think that anybody really has the right to take into their hands.
I agree. What a great
So
movie
that's the
then.
way I would have looked at it. But, I'm trying not to give away the ending.
No, but it's a great premise, because from what I remember, they were talking about, what was it now? God, there was something like the Arrowhead Project or something, and that's why they were trying to peek into other dimensions, and that's why these weird creatures had come into existence or something.
Right.
And I mean, I thought that was kind of weird, because now, you think about, I wonder if people are going to try to peer into other dimensions with all of the stuff that we have available right now, the big, whatever that thing is in space.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, is it going to be the Mist all over again?
Well, the interesting thing is about these horror movies is that we sure as hell learn what not to do.
Yes, true.
Right?
It's
so,
true.
You see a great big mist coming at you. You don't go running into it. You just close up all your windows and doors, and you just hide for a while.
Yeah. And if you see a red balloon out of a, out of a
drain pipe,
yeah, you just don't touch it. You just walk in the opposite direction.
Now, this last one. I'll tell you why I love this movie so much. And it pretty much embodies all of the horror movies. Well, it doesn't embody, but it speaks about them. There's so many that are mentioned in this. It was one of those. So I love, mysteries, like trying to figure out who the killer is and all of that. Like, I really enjoy that. I mean, a lot of these movies have a supernatural effect to it. Right?
Yes.
But the one thing I love about this movie is that it was human.
Okay.
And you have to guess as to who it is. And with each of the sequels, you have to guess as to who it. Not once have I ever said, oh, I know it's him.
Oh.
And I'm really, really, really good at guessing like who the villain is in movies and books. Like, always, I always get them.
Okay.
But these movies, I could not. I never have.
Okay.
And I would prefer not to, just simply because of the fact that they are brilliant. I love the way that they're being created. And they're sort of a joke, but I love them.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm not sharing?
No.
Hang on. Sorry.
That's okay.
I screwed that up.
Don't worry.
Hang on. Where am I now?
You're doing good.
I'm not doing good. I
yeah,
messed
you
that
are.
up. Oh my God. How could I have done that? No.
That's okay.
Okay. Hang on. I'm
Okay.
gonna go back here. We're gonna get this right. Here we go.
Okay. Oh.
Oh yeah. My favorite. I was actually watching this earlier.
Hello?
Hello.
Who is this?
Tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Someone is playing a deadly game.
It all began with a scream over 911.
Someone who's seen one too many scary movies. Now, he's taken his love of fear
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
one step too far.
Like scary movies.
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number 1, you can never have sex.
So that is probably one of my favorite movies.
Really?
You know what? I've watched it over and over and over. I still watch it and I still find things that I didn't catch in the first one.
I love that. We all do that though, don't we?
We really do. And I think that it was, you know, it's funny because the movie references, you know, Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, The Exorcist. Actually, Billy Loomis, when he climbs in through the window, he says, "Well, I was watching The Exorcist, and it reminded us of our relationship. Reminded me of our relationship." You know.
Oh my God.
PG for TV, right? But R-rated in the theater. So it was like some of the lines from this movie I think are absolutely brilliant. Wes Craven, I mean,
Yeah.
bless his heart. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
just
Knows how to get to you.
he knows how to get to you. He knows how to psychologically screw with your mind
Yeah.
so much. And for me, you know, it was interesting because I remember watching this movie and I remember, you know, the jump scares so much. But at
Yeah.
the end of it, I was like, you know, you're sitting there and it's like, you see this pair of boots. Oh, it's got to be him. It's got to be him. It's got to be him. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. And you're trying to piece this together so much. And then at the end, when you discover who the actual villains are, you're like, oh. Then you go back and you're like, oh, look it. They actually still make on YouTube. They still make videos of like who killed who, or you know how you could have guessed that it was Stu, or how you could have guessed that it was Billy Loomis, or this or that or the other thing. It was just brilliant. I love that.
It's
Just
funny.
love that movie. Yeah.
I love it. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? We hit some really good ones. Honestly, we hit some great ones. There are some that, you know, we could do this again. We could absolutely do this again because there's so many out there. I mean, Trilogy of Terror, you know, with the little doll. I mean, that scared the crap out of me. Oh yeah. Yeah, Scream didn't really do it for me either. However, I get it. I totally get it. I do.
Yeah. You know, and it's interesting because of, well, even this last one that they just did. I mean, again, it just goes, there's so much, you know, from the old ones, from the original that it draws from, and you're
right.
God, you know, I don't know, what do you call a groupie? A screamie? I don't know.
Screamie. Oh, I like that. I think you just coined a new one.
I'm definitely a scream groupie. But what does he say? Phantasm was one of the ones that got me as a kid when I saw it in the theater. I never saw that. I've never seen Phantasm. Have you seen it?
No, I've got to look that one up. For some reason, I've heard of it, but Yeah, I got to look it up. There's so many out there that we probably haven't even heard of that we should put on the watch list.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, this has been fun. I just, you know what? I love doing things like this. We have so much fun doing them.
Yeah, they're fun. Thanks, Kathy.
Oh yeah, you're so welcome.
Fun.
And guys, we'll see you next week. Trevor will be back with us, I believe, next week. I think he's done with his job at that time, or he has his days off. He's not done with his job. He has his days off. So he'll be joining us, and we look forward to seeing you. And hopefully I will have a better voice by the time that happens.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was. Take care, everybody, and have an amazing night. Thank you for watching, and we will see you later.
Next week.